Jana Duggar was regarded as the Duggar family's quiet powerhouse for many years. She held a unique kind of duty as the eldest daughter of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, which frequently made her feel more like a second mother than a sister. Jana stayed at home and faithfully took care of others as her younger siblings grew up, got married, and began their own families. Throughout every season of 19 Kids and Counting On, viewers saw her composed demeanor as she planned, instructed, and assisted in raising the next generation of Duggars. However, many questioned whether Jana secretly wished for a life of her own beneath her calm smile. As the years went by, rumors followed her around. Fans frequently questioned whether she ever wanted to be married, or whether she would finally find someone. Jana always responded politely, stating that she was happy where God had put her and was only waiting for his time. Jana continued to pursue her loves of interior design, gardening, and spending time with her huge extended family while the world speculated. Despite her seeming calm, there was a subtle hint that her narrative wasn't quite over. The girl, who had dedicated her entire life to helping others, secretly hoped to one day become a mother. And that long wait, those years of patience and quiet faith, were taking her exactly where she was supposed to be, even if no one realized it at the time. It took place in silence, away from the spotlight and the press. Through mutual friends who had similar beliefs and ideals, Jana Duggar met Stephen Wisman, a pilot and musician from a close-knit Nebraska family. The Wismans were well known for their ministry, love of music, and enduring family customs. Jana recognized their heritage right once. Their relationship was soft and unsaid at first. They were both grounded, modest, and attracted to small pleasures, and others saw how effortlessly they seemed to understand one another. This love developed gradually, thoughtfully, and with silent intention, in contrast to many of Jana's siblings who had found their partners swiftly and married young. Stephen and Jana both had a strong appreciation for faith and family. Frequently joined by siblings and friends, they spent time together on church activities, family get-togethers, and group outings. They quickly developed a closer bond, a silent love that was expressed more via smiles than words. Small clues like similar travels, exchanged photos, and subtly posted family photos were picked up by fans. This chapter has special meaning for Jana, a lady who had lived in the spotlight for the majority of her life. She took her time. She didn't announce anything big. Rather, she let the bond develop organically, based on mutual respect and the same goal. That friendship eventually developed into love. And Jana Duggar's tale started to alter after years of waiting, praying, and believing in God's timing. The girl who had spent her life witnessing other people find love was now crafting her own love story, softly, elegantly, and uniquely, with Stephen Wisman at her side. At first, the news was shared quietly, with family members whispering to one another and celebrating with happy tears and smiles. Then, Jana Duggar Wisman's pregnancy was officially announced. However, Jana and her husband, Stephen Wisman, were expecting twins, so this was no ordinary pregnancy. It was completely new to the Duggar family. No one had ever known the wonder of twins in all the years they had welcomed newborns. And this moment felt almost predestined to Jana, who had dedicated her life to helping her mother raise child after child. As Jana and Stephen broke the news, family members gathered near. Hugs, giggles, and even a few tears were shared. Glowing with happiness, Jana said she was grateful for the blessing that was developing inside of her. Two small hearts and two tiny souls that had been entrusted to her after so many years of waiting. Speaking in humility, she expressed her excitement for the trip ahead and her overwhelming sense of God's goodness. Stephen was standing next to her, his hand resting lightly on hers, and they were both glowing with appreciation. It was a momentous occasion for the Duggars, a first that added fresh enthusiasm to a family already brimming with affection. And for Jana, it was the realization of a lifelong dream, to raise her own children and experience motherhood as a mother rather than an assistant. The years of calm fortitude, faith, and patience came full circle in that one announcement. A double blessing and a fresh start awaited the girl who had dedicated her life to caring for others as she prepared to care for two of her own. The news spread like a wave of happiness when it got to the Duggar residence. When Jim Bob and Michelle first heard it straight from Jana and Steven, there was a moment of surprised stillness, followed by floods of joy and laughter. Twins. Two small blessings would arrive together for the first time in their expanding family. As Michelle gave her eldest daughter a hug, tears welled up in her eyes. She had observed Jana caring for her brothers for years, providing them with guidance, consolation, and affection akin to that of a second mother. At last, Jana's moment to be referred to as Mom came. Jim Bob grinned with pride as he spoke about how amazing it was to witness God's faithfulness in Jana's life. This news felt like a reminder that patience has its own reward, as the parents had always hoped for their children to find happiness in their own time. There was nothing but delight when the other Duggar siblings learned. Video conversations were full of applause and laughing. Group chats were overflowing with messages, and the younger Duggar nieces and nephews were unable to stop gushing about Aunt Jana's two babies. It felt like a full circle moment for some of Jana's sisters, who said that the sister who had supported them throughout their own children's restless nights was now getting ready for the same journey. They pledged to help her at every turn, giving her guidance, encouragement, and, of course, lots of secondhand baby items. Within days, there was a lot of discussion about baby projections, name ideas, and nursery colors in the family house. Everyone seemed to experience a double dose of joy, as if a new sort of light had entered their world. And despite everything, Jana stayed the kind, modest person she had always been, appreciative, serene, and brimming with the silent delight of a lady who had endured patiently and was now surrounded by affection from both sides of her family. The internet erupted in celebration as soon as Jana and Steven's pregnancy was made public. Social media was inundated with congratulations, meaningful words, and happy tears from fans who had followed Jana's peaceful journey for more than 10 years. For many, it was like seeing a chapter come to a close and a new one begin beautifully. Words like "finally, so happy for her" and "God's perfect timing" were common in comment sections. Fans of the Duggar family series expressed their admiration for Jana's grace and patience, describing how she had remained dependable, kind, and faithful despite everyone's speculation about her future. That patience had now blossomed into something truly remarkable. People expressed how heartwarming it was to witness Jana, the sister who had taken care of so many others, finally receive a blessing of her own on fan forums, YouTube, and Instagram. She was gentle, caring, and quietly strong, and to many fans, she had always been the center of the family. After years of waiting, some people remarked on how poetic it was that her first pregnancy would result in 2 infants at once, a fitting representation of double joy. Others claimed that Jana's story served as a reminder that life happens in its own perfect rhythm. Even outside of the Duggar fan base, there was enthusiasm. The story was picked up by family-friendly forums, entertainment websites, and parenting blogs, which referred to it as one of the year's most encouraging surprises. Jana and Steven remained modest and discreet throughout it all, subtly expressing their gratitude to everyone for their love and support. Their joy spoke for itself, so they didn't need to make long speeches. One thing became evident as the word spread. This was more than just a family get-together. It was a heartwarming moment that demonstrated how sometimes the most understated tales can be the most inspirational. Jana and Steven Wisman's days became sweeter and slower as the months went by. Their house started to change. The once quiet walls were now filled with a soft sense of expectation. The nursery was filled with soft hues, 2 cribs next to each other, small garments folded in pairs, and a rocking chair in the corner. Love and meticulous planning were evident in every little detail. Though her hands now frequently rested over her expanding belly, sensing the flutter of 2 tiny life within, Jana navigated this season with her usual serene attitude. She was reminded with every step that the long years of waiting had resulted in this, a promise doubled down. Steven was always there, compassionate and protective. He painted the nursery, put the furniture together, and read softly next to Jana in the evenings while he dreamed out loud about their future together. The reality of being parents felt almost sacred to them both. The Duggars were frequent visitors who brought lots of helpful hands, humor, and advice. The younger siblings offered to watch the twins before they were even born, and Michelle shared her years of experience as a mother. The warm, loud, and lively sound of relatives filled the house once more. Fans were waiting impatiently for word of the twins' arrival outside the family house, lovingly and admiringly following Jana's journey. However, Jana knew deep down that her narrative was about grace, timing, and the silent beauty of prayer answered, not about fame or achievements. During the last few weeks before the baby was born, Jana would frequently sit by the nursery window with her hands folded and her eyes bright as the sun sank. After waiting patiently for her story to come to light, she was finally on the brink of a fresh start. With the promise of all she had ever dreamed of, 2 tiny lives were on their way. The call was sent out just before daybreak. The time had finally come. Jana and Stephen Wisman were on their way to welcoming their twins into the world after months of peaceful planning, tender prayers, and excitement. It was chilly and quiet in the early morning, the kind of quiet that seems to hold its breath until something lovely occurs. With phones in hand and excited hearts, family members waited tensely. Slowly, hours went by, with excitement and hope weighing heavily on each minute. Then, finally, the news arrived. The twins were here, robust and well. The first pictures of the 2 small babies, snuggled in their mother's arms and covered in cozy blankets, brought tears to everyone in the Duggar household. Wearied yet dazzling, Jana held them close, one in each arm, her face glimmering with the type of love that is felt but not expressed. Stephen was standing next to her, his eyes gleaming with admiration and pride, his hand resting lightly on her shoulder. It was more than just the birth of 2 kids for him. It was the start of his family. Michelle and Jim Bob were overcome with emotion as they saw their new grandchildren for the first time. As Jim Bob grinned and repeatedly said, 2 little blessings, Michelle sobbed quietly, her heart full. 2 miracles. The gathering erupted in laughter, soft tears, and hushed prayers of appreciation as the other Duggar siblings showed up to greet the newest family member. Every heart in the room understood that this moment would live on in memory forever as little fingers were clasped and gentle cheeks were caressed. For Jana, the years of silent faith, the prayers, and the waiting had brought her to this moment of sanctity and transformation. With 2 little miracles in her arms that would forever alter her world, the girl who had previously looked out for everyone else was now a mother. The twins slept side by side as night set over the Wisman residence, marking the lovely start of a new chapter in the Duggar family's history, as well as a 2-fold promise of love. The arrival of the twins brought about both minor and significant changes in Jana and Stephen Wisman's lives. The sweet beat of coos, lullabies, and feedings occupied their days. Even though the nights were quieter, longer, and frequently interrupted, there was a depth of joy in every moment that neither could have predicted. The simultaneous arrival of 2 young lives brought double the amount of love, double the amount of joy, and yes, double the amount of fatigue. Fans had always appreciated Jana's poise as she transitioned into her new profession. 2 small personalities, 2 sets of needs, and 2 hearts that depended on her every move were all things she had to learn to balance. Every grin, giggle, and drowsy sigh served as a reminder of the blessing she had been waiting so long for. Stephen became her constant companion, there for her at all times. He sang softly when they wailed, rocked one twin while Jana fed the other, and took pleasure in every little accomplishment, such as an hour-long nap, a first grin, or a quiet moment. Together, they learned patience, teamwork, and how to double down on celebrating even the smallest milestones as they figured out the unwritten rhythm of twin parenthood. Support from family remained a lifeline. While Jana's siblings were always willing to help out, whether it was with story time or changing diapers, Michelle provided advice and small tips she had picked up from parenting her big family. Jana was shown that parenting was never meant to be experienced alone by the Duggars, whose home was a hive of love, laughter, and shared responsibility. Inspired by Jana's adventure, supporters outside their home followed every update. Her tale, which began as one of silent endurance and unselfish concern, has evolved into a celebration of faith, hope, and tenacity. The twins were hailed as signs of prayers answered and evidence that life frequently happens in its own exact time. As a result of their shared excitement and restless nights, Jana and Stephen became closer throughout it all. A story of love multiplied, hearts enlarged beyond measure, and a family forever changed by the advent of two small blessings. Each day spent with their twins became a new chapter. Jana and Stephen realized one basic fact as they watched their infants sleep next to one another. Life had altered irrevocably and was more lovely than they could have ever dreamed. Jana Duggar Wisman frequently found herself thinking back on the path that had led her to this point as the days stretched into weeks and the weeks into months. Every stage of her life, from the silent years of patience to the tender beginnings of her romance with Stephen to the eventual miracle birth of her twins, had molded, fortified, and equipped her for this moment. Jana recognized the continuance of a legacy that had started long before her, as well as the future of her own family as she held her babies in her arms. She reflected about her siblings, who had developed under her watchful eye and direction, and her parents, Jim, Bob, and Michelle, who had dedicated their lives to family and faith. The affection she had freely given for so long was now coming back to her in a profoundly different way. Every giggle, every accomplishment, and every loving moment spent with the twins served as a reminder of life's gifts, some anticipated, some unanticipated, but always cherished. She realized that her narrative was a part of something bigger, a family legacy of faith, love, and tenacity that her own children are now carrying on. She was silently proud and grateful, and Stephen was standing next to her. In a world molded by their family's nurturing, they marveled together at the small lives that would one day develop, laugh, and fall in love. The twins represented patience, hope, and the beauty of life's timing, and they were more than just a new addition to the Duggar family's heritage. Jana came to the realization that every lengthy wait and every silent moment of perseverance had been worthwhile as she watched them sleep side by side. Her tale had changed from one of protecting others to one of creation, nurturing, and fresh starts. Surrounded by love, family, and faith in that tender moment, Jana realized her journey was complete. Not in a conclusion, but in a lovely continuance. The smallest hand she had ever held would carry on the Duggar legacy, which was now brighter and richer than ever. Jana and Stephen Wisman started to look beyond the newborn years and envision the years ahead as life found its new rhythm. The twins, who are now getting bigger every week, infused their house with happiness and a feeling of purpose. Jana frequently caught herself dreaming out loud with Stephen, picturing their first words, their first steps, and the joy that would fill their hallways in the years to come. This phase of parenthood meant more to Jana than simply taking care of her kids. It was about passing on the same qualities she had grown up with: faith, love, patience, and compassion to the next generation. She wanted her twins to experience the warmth and safety that only a loving home could offer, and to understand the kind of familial support that had molded her own life. Stephen accepted the future vision as well. He envisioned trips, bedtime tales, and family customs that would create enduring memories. Together, they discussed life events, school years, and even how they could continue the Duggar family heritage in their own unique way. Not just by using statistics, but also by showing love, support, and common beliefs. Even though there might be difficulties, Jana and Stephen handled them with calm assurance. They had learned patience, resiliency, and thankfulness from their background, which would serve them well in every new phase of parenthood. Additionally, the twins were live examples of excitement, hope, and the beauty of beginnings because of their small hands and bright eyes. The pair realized that this was just the beginning of a lifetime trip as the sun rose every day. Now blessed with two small miracles, their family was prepared to develop, learn, and love. And Jana and Stephen learned the simple truth: in every heartbeat, smile, and moment spent together, they had the power to create the future, which was full with limitless opportunities and the subdued beauty of a family based on love. And there's more. Jinger Duggar provided insight into the realities of having 18 siblings by sharing what it's actually like to have a wide age difference with so many of them. On Thursday, October 30th, the 31-year-old former cast member of 19 Kids and Counting answered to a fan's question regarding the significant age difference on her Instagram story. Do some of your siblings feel less like siblings because of the age difference? Make sense? The follower on social media inquired Jinger acknowledged that she had lately given it some thought and would go into greater detail about it in a future episode of her podcast, The Jinger and Jeremy, which she co-hosts with her husband, Jeremy Vuolo. It's hilarious that you ask. She stated in the Instagram story, "We literally just talked about this on the Jinger and Jeremy podcast coming out soon. It's very different to grow up in a large family, especially if you're an older member. I still had a lot of younger siblings who were still quite little when I got married and moved out at the age of 22. They're older now, and it's been the sweetest thing to hang out with them, watch their personalities develop, and truly get to know them as adults," Jinger continued. "We seem to be in 3 distinct family eras, but in the best possible way." When her fans inquired about who she spends the most time with, Jinger revealed earlier this year that she was closest to her elder siblings. "My older sisters are the people I talk to the most, followed by Jennifer out here. Spending time with her was a lot of fun. Jackson and my dad also came through and it was a lot of fun," Jinger said in an August Instagram story. "She talks to Jana all the time," Jinger continued. "They spent some time out here. We clicked because Jana's husband, Austin Forsyth, had some work to do. It was a lot of fun while she was here for that month," Jinger continued. "And since I speak with the girls, Jill, Joy, Jana, Jessica, and others, I'm not sure. When my brothers visit after that, it is a lot of fun. And I adore each and every one of them." But Jinger has had trouble keeping up with more than just her siblings. She made a joke in March about not always knowing the names of the more than 30 Duggar grandchildren. Former Counting on star Jinger Duggar and her husband, Jeremy Vuolo, sent their oldest daughter to the emergency room, according to Duggar News. Fans may be aware that Jinger and Jeremy are parents to 3 kids. The couple just told everyone how much fun they had at a wedding. The couple has occasionally talked about their kids. This time, though, the parents were depressed as they related the regrettable incident. Additionally, Jeremy disclosed that his wife looked up their daughter's symptoms on ChatGPT, and it ended up being guidance that prevented them from experiencing additional stress. Did the couple disclose anything else? Why was their daughter sent to the emergency room? Jinger Duggar disclosed a few months ago that her daughter is unable to keep track of every member of the family. Fans of Duggar News may remember that the mother of 3 revealed that her eldest daughters, Evangeline and Felicity, thoroughly enjoyed spending the holidays with the rest of the family. This occurred since her birthday falls so close to the holidays, Jinger continued. After her daughter's latest health scare, Jinger Duggar Vuolo can finally unwind. The former cast member of 19 Kids and Counting and her husband, Jeremy Vuolo, talked about the stressful moment their 7-year-old daughter Felicity had an unanticipated ear problem while they were hosting a wedding at their home. On the October 29th episode of her and Jeremy's podcast, the Jinger and Jeremy podcast, Jinger stated, "At the end of the wedding, Felicity had been on the dance floor and she was dancing so hard. She's in terrible pain when she comes inside." Given that her oldest child is a social butterfly, the scenario was even more concerning for the 31-year-old, who is also the mother to Evangeline, 4 and Finnegan, 7 months with Jeremy. Jinger went on, "She implores us to stay awake if people are around. Do I have to go to bed?" she asks. "I want to stay up because I adore our friends, even though I know I have to get up early." Jeremy commented on the severity of the problem when Jinger, who is acknowledged to be anti-medicine, gave her daughter 2 ibuprofen since she was aware of Felicity's agony. "Because I was at an event, I knew when you told me that you had given her 2 ibuprofen. Oh, this is serious if Jinger's giving her medicine right away," he wrote.